Look, I have brought you a series of principles from a figure named Hermes. Hermes is one of the Greek gods, but more importantly, he exists within the psyche of each of you. When you enter the flow of conversation and begin to speak, that psychological dimension of Hermes awakens within you, the part that presents to others, delivers the message, and takes control of the situation. This Hermes has a set of principles. For 2,000 years, he had a religious school in Greece where he was worshipped. The very first principle is mentalism. Everything is mind. This means that if you can fix your mind, you can fix your entire external world. My mind used to be chaotic, an absolute mess. Back at university, specifically in the political science department, all I did was argue. I was constantly engaged in political debates. My mind was polluted with politics and corrupted data. Corrupted data can completely destroy your mind. You must fill your mind with good data, excellent data, to allow your psyche to remain healthy. All right, look, the next principle is correspondence. Its essence is simply this: whatever is above is also below. Whatever is below is also above. Welcome, please come in. Consider this specific aspect of correspondence. Where was I? I was at the absolute bottom. I started from the bottom. And where did I reach? I reached the top, from the bottom, from the basement to the top. So what exactly happened? Below, above. Look, life is entirely about riding the waves. It is about surfing the flow. If you pay close attention, you are actively learning the principle of Hermes. Basement, then the tower, Turkey, and then back to the basement. This is exactly the life I have lived for the past 3 years. So what is the lesson here? If you truly learn this principle, you understand the inevitable highs and lows. I am currently in a tower, am I not? My next target is Georgia, is that correct? I want to ascend to a higher place. Now, the probability of being rejected by the Dutch embassy is high. The probability that my employer in Georgia will not follow through is high. The probability that my visa simply expires after 3 months is high. But because I know these principles, I know that I might return to this basement once again. Therefore, I am fully prepared for it. It does not shock me anymore. The path of life is solely in my own hands. When the trajectory of your life is in your hands and you understand the principles, you can ride the waves. You catch the wave of life. On my logo, I have written, "Master the flow." The most crucial part of existence is riding the waves. Start catching the waves and become master the flow. Polarity and gender. And now we come to vibration, something that so many people are utterly deprived of today. Nothing is static, everything is in constant motion. Me, you, objects, the trees, the earth, the soil. So adjust your vibrations. If you are sitting here right now, your vibrations are aligned. I invited all the people who are here today. What did the others achieve? Some just sat, filled their stomachs, and now they are either staring at their phones, sleeping, or randomly entering 4 codes. Yet this session could have supported them for the next few years. It could have given them absolute vision. It could have made them feel profoundly better. Who feels better hearing these words? I myself feel incredible when I speak them. Come up here, whoever feels better. You feel good when you step into this space. Anyway, adjust your vibration. If your vibration is pure, you naturally find yourself in the right places. You attract the right people. Great places become your inevitable destiny. Your audience elevates. Your vibration was aligned, and so you crossed paths with me. My vibration was aligned too. I gave you a piece of insight, and to the rest of you as well. I have learned something from every single person here in some way, and you learned from me. We broadcast our essence to each other. Vibration broadcasts to us, to one another, but only among the right people. If your vibration is toxic, you view life through a toxic lens and become trapped in terrible situations. My vibration was once negative as well. I showed you the outcome. Total collapse, hitting rock bottom, absolute isolation, and enduring the heaviest psychological and physical pressures. That is a negative vibration. It all resulted from seeking conflict. It all resulted from seeking conflict in the political science department, pointless debates, sitting around trying to prove who knows more or who can defeat the other. The outcome was a disaster. Distance yourself from war and inner unrest. Push the pressure away. What helps? Meditation, worship, positive thinking, and exercise. Sweating expels harmful toxins from your body and releases psychological pressures. The man I met was an athlete. My plan was to find a partner and work out a strategy. We became friends instantly. I asked, "You meditate, do you not?" He said, "Yes." I replied, "I meditate too." And so we became friends. Do you see? When your vibrations are aligned, the right people come into your life. Now Reza and I became friends. I practically forced him to be better, and he did it too. And now he is sitting right here. I think he feels obliged to be here as well. We learn from each other. There is a profound purity in his nature. However, he built his foundation correctly. He constructed some things the wrong way. I tried to fix it for him. Do not look at me and think I am flawless. If I were completely right, I would not have been in those states I described. Truly, when you reflect on my past, you realize what a disaster I was. But we should learn from the past and build the future. Look, this is the principle of polarity, highs and lows. It is the most important concept you must master. If you do not learn it, history will simply repeat itself. You know, I learned the hard way that this is not nonsense. If you fail, there is a fundamental reason. When I realized my emotional peaks were too high that I would suddenly leap up in the middle of chaos, I knew it was because of the chaotic unrest within me. What did I do? I immediately placed myself under the supervision of 3 therapists. First, I began clinical medication. Second, I started deep sessions with a psychologist. And third, I worked with a mentor. If I had not done these things, the cycle would repeat. It is raw excitement, it spikes, you cannot control it, and it completely ruins your work. If you are constantly taking hits in a continuous field, or if you are repeatedly making mistakes in your discipline, it means you are on the wrong path. If your marketing principles and presentations are not yielding results, you are executing the job poorly. It's time to change. Look at me now. I am planning to migrate. Look here. I have created a precise folder called Negotiate. I am going to Georgia. For my primary plan at the embassy, I have translated every word I need to say into formal English. I am fully prepared with the most eloquent vocabulary and the optimal psychological state to impress the interviewer. If that fails, I have my backup negotiations ready. Subject, strategic market analyst and technical specialist. I will walk into the exchanges and state exactly who I am. I have already scheduled meetings with them. I present myself with absolute authority. I never enter any room unprepared. If you go in unprepared, you lose. It is that simple. After a while, this flow becomes part of your very being. It establishes itself within your soul. This friend of ours started filming me here and simply said, "Talk." I just went with the flow. He told me to begin and I delivered a full presentation. He enjoyed every moment of it. This does not happen overnight. Practice. Present your visions to yourselves. Be ready to use your abilities at any moment. Opportunity knocks only once. You either seize it or it disappears forever. The choice is entirely yours. Try to be a hunter, seize the opportunity and pursue. Next is polarity. Everything in this universe is dual. Everything has its exact opposite pole. Opposites are simply 2 sides of the same coin. Cold and heat, night and day. Even becoming a total failure versus becoming a master trader. I told you, standing in front of that life that could have been just one dimension of my existence. I flipped the coin, it landed on heads, I became a trader, I flipped it again, trader again, trader. If it had landed on tails, I would have ended up in another life. I would have been living the exact opposite pole, somewhere in a dark hole. Or maybe a better life. If you consider these highs and lows, these opposites, we arrive at another fundamental duality, men and women, the principle of gender. Look here, these brilliant, beautiful women are our colleagues. The way they stand beside me, it feels as though we have known each other for 1,000 years. The profound way they confide in me, these are things they do not even share with their own boyfriends or husbands. Why? Because I deeply respect the principle of gender. When I speak to you as a woman, I do so by accessing my own feminine dimension. I firmly believe that I am neither a man nor a woman, and you are neither a man nor a woman. We are a single, unified human entity. We are a single manifestation of light. As one of the philosophers, Suhrawardi, beautifully stated, the hierarchy of light. Did we not emerge from light? Were we not created from pure light? If so, then we are all one single, indivisible entity. When I sit among the men, our group mentality activates. I know how to communicate and fill that energy gauge to let them know I'm part of the party. I make no grand claims, but what I mean is I fully live my gender. Now, I do not know how you perceive this in this room, but do not take from me a purely feminine vibe, nor a purely masculine one. Take the presence of an authoritative speaker, someone who is delivering elevated stages of awareness to you. I do not exercise brute power, nor do I exercise delicate femininity. This is precisely where the archetype reveals themselves. You must reach the archetype. The entire purpose of life is to realize your archetype. The next principle is rhythm, the most beautiful part, the part I absolutely live for. In my professional logo, I included my ultimate slogan, master the flow, catch the flow, rhythm, everything is rhythm. The ocean waves crashing on the shore are a rhythm. The wind brushing against your skin is a rhythm. The gazes that meet yours in a room are a rhythm. At this moment, I am absorbing this rhythm from you and radiating a rhythm back to you. Are you even aware of the time? Time is flying. We have been sitting here for almost 2 hours and a half. Are you tired? No. Why? Because you are locked into the rhythm. I call it the power of full engagement of rhythm. People ask me, how do you stay behind closed office doors from 7 a.m.? I commute all the way from another city. I set off at 6 a.m. and we go down to practice and work out. At night, I arrive home at 10 p.m. I eat something at 11 and I am asleep by 12 midnight, just 6 hours of sleep. Why? Because I do not work. Work is for beasts of burden. Society invented work and demons. I do not work. I live my life, and therefore I never get tired. This is full of joy for me. When you catch the rhythm, exhaustion ceases to exist. God is my witness right here, right now. I am completely in my rhythm, even in the middle of a work meeting. Can you believe it? And all of you guys catch the rhythm. Amidst this absolute chaos of Iran, I am sitting in front of you, mapping out the trajectory and mess ups of my life, sitting here doing this for you. People see my aesthetic, a sexy theme, a player persona, and they think, this guy just wants to throw a wild party, or he just wants to get into our mind to gain money from us. But I declare to everyone, this is a free webinar. This is for humanity, to keep genuine love flowing between us, to elevate each other's state of mind. Listen to me. You came here, but do not for a second think this is truly free. You must pay a price here, and your payment is this. Whatever profound knowledge you gain in this room, you must pass on to others. You must transfer it. That is your absolute duty, because you have fallen into the rhythm. And when you catch the rhythm, you catch the vibration, and they synthesize. It comes and it goes. Good feelings, bad feelings, good people, toxic people, money flows in, money flows out. Just maintain the rhythm. If you catch the right rhythm, it brings the light to your life. Look, let the cold rain hit your body. Be like water. Flow. Tell jokes. Laugh. Be free. Look back at the basement I was in too. The roof fell on me. Stones hit my head. The bugs walked on my face in the middle of the night. It was spilled water all over. You all saw the video I showed you. I will put it on YouTube one day. The rocks came crashing down, but I'm still alive. Look at my stomach. I showed it to you in the video. Do I have a fat stomach now? I have a small amount left, and it is incredibly hard to get rid of, but I persistently try. Around the desk, I see myself. I brought a resistance band. I practice. I do push-ups. I train hard. I work out every morning. Why? Because the physical body must be an absolute fortress. Energy levels must remain at their peak. It flows. When you expend this energy, more flows back to you. Do not hoard it. Fat makes you miserable. You must be strong. If there is only one legacy I can leave for you today as a memorial, it is rhythm. Write this last point down so I can wrap up my discussion. After that, we will sit and talk beautifully. And we have a meditation session left. Rhythm. Catch the rhythm. If you can master the rhythm, life becomes a masterpiece. It means when the wind hits your face, you truly appreciate it. When you sit behind your desk, you admire your system and yourself and never get tired. Type Hermo Monjezi in Telegram. I built a portfolio by myself, and with the most advanced, elite design possible, I finalized a professional portfolio solely and entirely by myself. The logo, the copy, the links, I created every part of it from scratch. I focused with absolute precision. Join this now. Join the Hermo_Monjezi, where I put all the documents for Start Your Way. We need to get the Telegram desk operational. We need the planner, and I built a planner brick by brick. Just the next section, we will discuss it. Luck and chance do not exist. There is no such thing as chance. If we call something chance, it is simply because we are too blind to see the governing rule behind it. Many people here are like close friends. Many promised they would come today, but they are not here. There is a universal rule dictating their absence, and some of you whom I have never met before came to me for the first time. I may have rejected you initially, yet our rhythms aligned. Our rhythms brought us together in this room. Cause and effect. When cause and effect operate in harmony, everything becomes perfectly beautiful. Each of you took a specific action at some point in your past that resulted in you sitting here right now. And what's the result for you? Improvement and learning how to deal with different points of view. And finally, regarding gender, which I showed you earlier. Look at this photo and this one. Forget societal gender. We went out with Marnouche to buy women's clothes once. Do you remember? We went to a shop. I saw an item of clothing. It was entirely for women. I liked it. I asked, "Can I try this on?" Everyone burst out laughing. They said, "It is a woman's dress. What are you doing?" I replied, "There is no such thing as gender." They laughed again and said, "It will not even fit your size." I looked at it and said, My eyes tell me it fits my frame perfectly and it is beautiful." And was it not beautiful? Was it not absolutely badass? Say it loudly, Mère Noche, for the video. It was flawless. I took a picture of it. Look, gender is an illusion. I could walk in here wearing any kind of clothes. I could walk in here wearing shorts. People told me to wear formal trousers today, but I want to dress as I wish and be comfortable. I am comfortable. You must be comfortable. Ignore the absolute nonsense of the masses. Disregard the judgmental stares of society. Eradicate them from your mind. When you do, your mind expands. Open your mind. The more you shatter these artificial societal rules, the more creative and limitless your mind becomes. I am not inventing these concepts. These are the profound words from the books I devoured day and night in that library. That is the exact knowledge I forced into my own soul. To rebuild myself, I destroyed my old self. Look at your appearances right now. Formal, formatted, dressed according to society's standards. But you sit here for almost 4 hours and carefully listen to the guy who wears casual dress. You all look identical. Do you think I am perfectly right? But that is the law of polarity, the highest highs and the lowest lows. Mastering that flow is the most important thing you will ever learn in your life. And be free of the junk roles which society teaches us. Let's take a quick look at this section. The 7 principles of Hermeticism, Hermetic philosophy. Hermetic philosophy or Hermeticism is based on the teachings attributed to Hermes Trismegistus. These principles describe the fundamental laws governing the universe and human consciousness. The principle of mentalism. The entire universe is mental. That is, the fundamental reality of the world is mind or absolute consciousness, and matter and energy are at a lower level than that. The principle of correspondence. As above, so below, as within, so without. This principle expresses harmony and reflection between different levels of existence, such as the great world of the universe and the small world of man. The principle of vibration. Nothing is static. Everything is in motion. Everything vibrates and resonates with its own frequency. The only difference between phenomena is in their speed and type of vibration. The principle of polarity. Everything is bipolar. Everything has a pair. Opposites are actually one truth that only differ in degree and intensity, like heat and cold, which are both the same quantity. The principle of rhythm. Everything flows. Everything has ups and downs. The pendulum of time swings in every movement. The amount of swing to the right is equal to the amount of swing to the left, and rhythm maintains balance. The principle of cause and effect. Every cause has an effect, and every effect has a cause. Nothing is accidental. Chance is just a name for a law that remains unknown. The principle of gender. Gender is present in everything. The masculine, initiator, activator, and feminine, receptive, generative principles are at work and interacting at all levels and dimensions of life and creation.